Hi, I'm Abby Baca from Studio CWI Bracketology, and I'm so excited to be introducing our guest today, Sean Farnham from ESPN. Thank you so much for joining us. This means the world to us. And I know you're extremely busy right now with the Final Four. So what was it about CWI that convinced you to do this interview? And you can't say Dan Garrity.
It's the only answer I have. I mean, if I said anything other than Professor Garrity. I think that one of the most important aspects of my job and my responsibility is to expose students, the next generation of people that are going to be coming up in this profession, to offer any insight or guidance that I have based on my experience of what I've been able to accomplish over the course of my career. And I think that it's our responsibility to make sure that we outreach to students that have an interest in this profession and this field, and give them a very realistic view and understanding of what this profession details and the requirements that it takes to be successful.
Yeah, definitely. And us at the Media Arts Department are so interested in what you are doing and making money off of. So, what about your schooling journey brought you to where you are today?
Well, I mean, my start in this business got pretty unique. I got into it because of my basketball career at UCLA, and one game beforehand. You get into this business a lot of different ways. You can get into this business because you study it. You get in this business because you sometimes trip and fall into it. I fall more in the trip and fall. So I picked up a microphone at a game and told the play-by-play guy, I'm like, "You have the easiest job in the world. Here's how I do the open for the game." And I was like, "Welcome to Poly Pavilion, everybody. I'm Sean Farnham. Tonight we've got the Arizona State Sun Devils taking on the UCLA Bruins." And I did this whole open for what would be an open for one of the games of a broadcast. And I didn't know that the microphone was hot to the truck. And in the truck was the coordinating producer of the network, Fox Sports West at the time. And he came down and goes, "Who is that?" And it's like 2.5 hours before game time. And they point out to the floor, and I'm out there probably shooting half court shots, just messing around. And they bring me over and goes, "Hey, that was really good, man. You want to do this?" I was like, "Sure." It's like, "Okay, what if you do, I don't know, a feature every single week on the UCLA Sports Magazine show?" And I was like, "That sounds great." So that was my junior year of college. So I did that for 2 years and then went into coaching. And then after coaching at Pepperdine for a season, I was like, you know what? I think I really wanted to actually do the TV stuff. I called that same guy up and said, "Hey, I did all that stuff for free when I was a student athlete at UCLA. How about you give me a chance to actually make some money off this thing now?" And so he said, "Sure." And it started with high school football, and then went to studio reporting for the high school show in Los Angeles, then went to hosting the high school show in Los Angeles, to calling college basketball games, to sideline for college football games, to sideline for the Lakers, Clippers, Dodgers, Angels, to hosting for the Lakers, Clippers, Dodgers, Angels, to doing play-by-play for college football, to hosting a national radio show, to ESPN for the last 13 years. So it's been an incredible ride for the last 22 years, and one that is a grind. Like I often tell people, if you get in this business for money, you're not doing it right. This is not a business that you get into for money. You get into it because it's your passion. And if you follow that passion and you continue to hone in on your craft, then it puts you in a position to potentially make money. But when I first started in this job, I was getting paid $250 per event for Fox Sports West in Los Angeles. And I had to have a 40-hour week job on top of it. And luckily I found one that was flexible enough that I could get away and do what I had to do. But that was kind of how I got into the field. And that's how I've kind of grown and developed over the last 20 plus years now.
God, that's amazing. I need to start going to the gym, shooting basketballs. Hope I could stumble in it too.
There you go.
Well, you told us about your life journey, how you got here. What does the day-to-day look like for you?
The day-to-day is pretty insane, especially during Final Four week. The hours are pretty long. I work probably on average about 13 to 14 hours a day right now. Very minimal sleep, a lot of responsibilities, a lot of different directions that I'm pulled into, whether it's charity work that I'm doing here, hosting duties at the Final Four, to my actual work for ESPN. But I think that the one thing, the lifestyle itself is very difficult. Most people that get into this business that work on the national level, their private lives suffer because of it. I've been fortunate that mine has not. But I travel extensively. In the month of February, I was home for 2 days in the entire month.
Wow.
So when you're not home and you're not around your wife, you're not around your kids, you're not there for birthdays. I'm here at the Final Four. My daughter has a soccer tournament in Arizona. My son has senior prom. My other son has his first ever golf tournament that he's playing in. I will not see any of it. I will not be there. I'm not there for Thanksgiving. I've never had a Thanksgiving dinner with my family, because those are the time of year in which you're grinding and you're going. And when you make a commitment to your craft and you want to be great at your craft, there are things that you have to sacrifice, and that includes sometimes family time. And you have to have people that understand that and support you in that. Otherwise, it will never last. So, it is a grind. There's a lot of days, a lot of times on airplane. I became a million miler on Delta Airlines in less than 4 years.
Oh,
So, that's a lot of it. That's a lot of time on the air. And a lot of times when you're in that air, you're thinking, okay, well, that's time to sleep or rest. It's not. It's time to log on to the Wi-Fi and keep working. And so it's kind of just how you go, and you go until the season stops. Season stops for me after the end of the Final Four, and then I'll have some time off and be able to relax and recover. And then I'll get back after it in October and do it all over again.
wow, that is a huge commitment. In your opinion, what sets you apart from somebody who's just doing this locally? What sets a great color commentator apart from just a good one?
I think it's you take your job seriously, you don't take yourself seriously.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times that people get their ego in the way of what they do, and I don't. I'm well aware of the position I hold. I'm grateful for the position I hold and the opportunities I get at ESPN, to be on College Game Day on Saturday, the Final Four. It's pretty cool. But I will do my job to the best of my ability. I will be prepared. I will respect my job, but I will not take myself so seriously that I will not allow my organic personality and natural energy to come through. I believe that life is a team sport, and when you work in television, it should be no different. I am not the centerpiece or the focus of any of the calls or broadcasts that I have. It may come out that way sometimes, but it's not. People use the word talent. I'm talent because I'm on air. Cool. You know what talent is? Give me a camera and let me try to keep someone in focus for 25 minutes going up and down the basketball court. I'd lose everything. That's talent. Talent is wiring the truck so that I'm able to speak and so that the audio can actually come out over the air. Talent is a director who sits there and gets all the shots lined up, and for the producer to organize and structure the entire show and run a show so that we have a successful call. Talent is my play-by-play guy. Talent is my sideline person. Talent are the camera people that I work with. I tell all the camera people that I work with all the time that I can only discuss what I see through their eyes. So when they see something through their camera lens that makes them go, wow, then we should probably get that on, because if it made them go, wow, it's probably gonna make me go, wow. And then that'll make the person at home go, wow. And we'll show them something different, something unique. And so for me, it has always been about the sum of the parts, not me. And I think that comes from my sports background and playing in team sports. But if you want to be successful in this business and you want to make it about yourself, you're probably not going to last very long in the business. You might have a meteoric rise because you say something crazy and you're willing to say something crazy and get attention on yourself. But the most time it's going to fizzle out and you're going to be gone. I've been fortunate enough to be in this business now for 20 plus years. I'm hoping to be in it 20 plus more. I'm going to do it my way, and I'm certainly not going to try to change to be somebody else because somebody else wants me to be somebody else. I'm going to be authentic to myself, because if I fail, I'd like to fail knowing that I was me. I would not like to fail thinking I tried to be somebody else.
So I know you had Duke going all the way.
Yes.
What kind of flack did you receive for that from Spokane area, Gonzaga, and I guess Duke once they didn't win?
Not much at all. The reality of it is, first of all, I had Gonzaga beating UCLA, so I don't think Zags fans could get too upset that I picked them to beat my own alma mater.
Yeah.
But I think that the one thing that I think is really important is when you do a bracket like that, first of all, it always stinks. It's never good. This year, if anybody had FAU in the Final Four, I mean, that is truly a remarkable guess on your part, because there's nothing that could have said that. They could have very easily lost in the opening round. The NCAA tournament is not representation of the best teams in the country more often than not. It is what happens on one given night. Like I said this last year, St. Peter's was not a better team than Kentucky last year or Purdue, but they were better that night.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they played it, like this is not the NBA finals or the NBA playoffs, where if you play best of 5 or best of 7, the best team is probably going to win more often than not. You're not going to see massive upsets. But if you change the NBA finals to one game, well, I think we'd see some more upsets. And I think that's what happens often in college basketball, which is why we have a Final Four like we have this year, where you look at San Diego State, Florida Atlantic, Miami, and UConn. Like UConn's been good all year long, but I don't think anybody really thought that those other three teams had a realistic chance of being here in Houston. Yet here they are, going to the arena, practicing, having their press conferences today, meeting with the media. It's awesome. It's fun, and it's exactly what the NCAA tournament should be about. It's March Madness for a reason, because the improbable can happen. And we go back to the Duke losing to Tennessee in the first game of the NCAA tournament against Northern Kentucky. Tennessee turned the ball over 18 times. They turned the ball over 9 against a much better defensive team in Duke. So that's what happens. It just happened. Teams understand how the fit and the personnel and styles that make the fight kind of play out, which is what makes it such a challenge. But it was something that I know when Professor Garrity met with me in Spokane at my charity event that I ran in the Davenport Hotel, and he talked to me about the bracket. I was like, sure, I'll do it, and have fun with it. It's actually the only bracket I submitted online and posted online with the bracket for this class.
What an honor.
So it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. I know my bracket didn't turn out so well, but that's okay. It's the great part of March.